What did you say?
Is the audio okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I'm sorry I was having trouble with my PC earlier.
It's okay, no problem. It always happens.
Um, I guess the first question I want to ask you is, when you were growing up, who was your favorite singer?
When I grew up, I mean, when I was a child,
Yes.
well, Whitney Houston. Yeah, definitely. I decided to be a singer because I heard Whitney Houston singing in the Bodyguard movie.
Oh, okay. So, why did you evolve into a different kind of singing instead of how she performs? How come your style is
What?
totally different?
Yeah, because, well, things happened. That was when I was a child, and actually, I began singing her songs and Michael Jackson songs when I was a child. And then when I became a teenager, I got very fond of Christina Aguilera, and I used to sing her songs. But afterwards, when I was like 15 or something, I heard Tristania. I listened to Tristania, and then I began to listen to this kind of sound that I was very attracted to. So after listening to Tristania, some guy, some friend lent me Oceanborn from a Nightwish, and that's when I said, okay, I want a band like this one, and I want to sing like this, and I want very heavy metal and sing lyric like this. So that's when I decided to go to the conservatory and start singing lessons, classical singing lessons.
Yeah, when I first heard the song that you sent me, I was blown away because there's so many pop singers and everything, and you don't hear anybody that sounds like you or that sounds like, Tarja or Floor or anybody else. It's really hard to come by. So I was really like blown away. I was surprised.
Well, thank you. That's a very nice comment.
So how did you get everything started? Like, when did you first meet your first bandmate and find out this is what you want to do? You want to start working with other people and everything.
Well, I was born in Venezuela actually, and I moved to Argentina 10 years ago. When I was in Venezuela, I had a couple of bands. The first one was a tribute band to Kitty, you know, the Canadian
Yes.
female. Yeah. And then when I moved here, I was studying at the university and everything, and there was a point in which I said, okay, I need, because I never stopped singing, but I was singing in a choir and in some opera productions. But there was a point in which my roots are metal, and I wanted to go back to metal. So I signed up in these web pages where they look for musicians and everything, and I posted that I was a singer and that I wanted to do or to be in a project that was metal and with a lyrical or a classical voice. So these guys contacted me, and we gathered, we met, and they showed me the material that they had, the scores and everything, and I really loved the music. So I started being their singer. That was 5 years ago. Yeah.
So when everything is over with the pandemic and everything, do you want to go on tour? Do you want to make a new album? What are you looking to do next year if everything's calmed down?
Well, we were planning on touring a little bit over the country in some other states. That was what we wanted to do this year, actually. But instead, we were trapped here, so we started composing new material, new songs, and everything. So We are planning on recording that, and of course, we don't want to set a record like the first that we did. We are going to be releasing singles in a period of time. I don't know, every 3 months, for example. And at the same time, we'll be trying to tour uh, here inside the country. If we can get some tour dates outside Argentina, would be great, but it's not what we're really planning.
So, if you can start touring and you could tour with anybody, who would you want to tour with?
Oh, if you ask me, I would say Lacrimosa, and no question, no doubt.
So you don't think you'd want
That's
to
like
open
a
for
dream come
Nightwish?
true. I don't know, because well, whenever they come, we were never called for opening the show. They always call a couple of other bands, but us is we are not usually related to Nightwish. We're more related to gothic bands, and actually
Yeah.
we have been called for to be opening for, well, Lacrimosa we did last year, and for Tristania, for example, and Birthday Massacre also. But that couldn't happen because, well, the pandemic craziness.
So, how have things changed with the pandemic? Have you enjoyed being able to just focus more on yourself and not doing as much outside, or are you kind of disappointed that you're more restricted on what you've been able to do?
Well, I'm a stage lover, so this has been very difficult for me because I haven't been able to perform on stage, which is where I think that I belong. It's been good because I have had time to compose, and, well, I released a record, a solo record, and I haven't been able, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't been confined. But now it's been really difficult for me, at least. I enjoy very much the contact with the audience, and performing live is what I love doing.
So, have you ever thought about some things that artists are doing right now is they're doing like live stream concerts, like doing performances where um, it's over the internet. Have you ever thought about doing something like that right now just to draw attention and put it out there that you have music out and you have something that people can watch while they can't go to shows right now?
Well, we have actually, not with the band, because with the band it's very much more complicated, but with my boyfriend, he is a pianist. We did a couple of concerts, one in June and the other one in July. We did them over Instagram and Facebook live streaming, and we're planning on doing another one in the next few days if they don't, I mean, this pandemic thing doesn't end. We're going to do it live streaming, but if it ends, we're going to do it in some small place for very few people. But yes.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. I mean, I didn't know about your band when you did the first couple because I'm new to the interviewing thing, so I didn't know about it. I just have a few that I've done, so I didn't know about.
Oh, yeah, of course, because you did. Yeah, it was in June, and the last one was on the 11th of July, I think. Yes, or 10th of July. Yeah, it was on the 10th of July. So, well, yeah, I always announce these concerts over my social media, Instagram mostly.
Okay. So, what would be your top five bands? You. If you could pick five favorites.
Well, that would be number one, Lacrimosa, of course. Rammstein, Tool. I love Tool. There's an Argentinian band that I love very much, which is called Rata Blanca, and I would say Dimmu Borgir. Yeah, those would be my favorite five.
So, do you like any hard rock, or is it just mostly?
I do like hard rock. Yeah. I enjoy many genres, but those are like my top five. Because tend, I incline towards darker music.
Yeah, I understand. So that's interesting. You said you like Demi Borgir, so you must like Vortex. You must like his singing.
Yeah. But if you paid attention, the bands that I like are all male singers.
Yeah.
Is not that I don't actually listen to female singer bands very much.
Well, I don't
It's
either, but Taria and Liv Christine, I love
Liv
her
Christine,
voice.
yes.
I'd have to say
Liv,
that's my top two.
yes. Yeah, I enjoy very much Nightwish with Talia as a singer. And of course, Liv Christine in Theater of Tragedy, and when she had this band Leaves Eyes, was a very nice band, and I like
Yeah,
it
I was
very much.
disappointed. I was disappointed when she left. I don't like the new singer.
Yes. Well, the same happened when Vibeke Steen left Tristania. It was like, oh my god, no.
So, how did you get into Lacrimosa anyways? I only I'd have to say I only discovered them last year, and that was through finding Mono Ink first.
Oh,
So,
well, it was many years ago. Many years ago. I was just a teenager and just a friend of mine. I was listening to Tristania very much, and this friend of mine had been given a record, a CD from of Lacrimosa, and she told me she didn't like it, and she said, well, you like this gothic stuff, I guess you will enjoy it, listen to it, and if you like it you can keep it. So when I played that CD, it was like, oh my god, love at first sight. I just fell in love with the band and I wanted to listen to more material of them, and I bought all the records that they had released up to the time, and I started watching the videos on the concerts and everything, and I became very fond of them.
now you're lucky because they probably wouldn't come to the US for a concert. I know I've asked Mono Ink and they haven't responded. I've asked Lacrimosa and they haven't responded.
Yeah, they are. I
Disappointing.
don't know why they haven't been to the US. It's interesting to.
I figure
It
it's
would
not
be
a big enough
interesting to
fan
ask him
base.
that. I think so. Yeah, but they don't play in big
Well,
venues. They play in bars. When they come here, they have an audience of an average between 800 and 1,000 people. It's not so big a place, but I don't know why. Yeah, it's an interesting question. But they do come to Argentina. I hadn't seen them live until I moved to Argentina, because they have never gone to Venezuela and they will never go there because there they actually don't have a fan bases.
well, I guess in New York, where I'm at, there's pretty big bands, but it's more like the mainstream bands have been here, like Kiss and Leonard Skinner and Alice Cooper. And I will say, if you know who Lordy is, they were here once for the smallest venue we have.
Oh,
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rob Zombie's been here too.
Oh, Rap Zombie. That's a nice one. Yeah, I like it.
But it seems like we only get the mainstream. We don't get any of
Mm.
the,
On the ground.
yeah.
It's a pity. Hmm. Because here, yeah, we do have many of the underground stuff, especially Europe, European underground. They come and they come a lot.
So if you could play anywheres, would you prefer doing the big festivals all the time or the smaller venues all the time?
I love small venues. Though I like big stages with lots of lights and special effects and everything because I like theater stuff, but I prefer small gigs. Yeah, small venues because it's more private, it's more intimate. You have this dialogue with the audience. And me, myself, I don't usually go to big concerts because I don't like them. As an audience, I don't like going to big concerts because I don't get to see and to interact with the artist. I prefer smaller concerts.
That's cool. That's understandable. I think the biggest one I saw was Kiss. That was the biggest
Yeah,
that
well,
I think.
Kiss
Yeah.
is huge.
I'm glad I saw him before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Um, have you heard of what they're doing now with the drive-in concerts, where people drive up to the stage and watch it from their cars?
Yes, I heard. You told me about that. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like not a cinema or something. Yeah.
yeah. I forgot I told you about that. But
Yeah.
that's at least something.
That's something. Yes. Well, in Europe they are doing live streaming shows. Well, actually next week I'm watching Lacrimosa online. I mean, they are performing and we are watching through a computer. That's that's going to be interesting.
Did you see the walk-in live stream they just had, where they had Blind
No.
Guardian and they had Sabaton and a bunch of other bands. It was
No,
like a
I
five
didn't.
day lineup.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I found out, and because I didn't buy the ticket, and
No, it was free.
was it free? Huh. I tried to enter, but they asked me for a ticket.
No, there was scammers trying to block people from watching it, trying to intercept their credit card information.
Ah, okay,
Yeah, if
okay.
I'd have
Well,
known
I
you when
missed
that was
it.
going on, I would have told you about.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Would have been nice.
It was okay. I mean, not all the concerts were live on stage. Like some of them did live in front of
Hmm.
no audience, but some of them were replay concerts of like the last few years.
That's why they made it free. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what else have you been doing in your free time other than music?
I've been learning to put on makeup. Well, I've been doing a makeup course, artistic makeup course, and no, nothing else. Just writing music and doing that.
That's what I'm trying to learn. I'm not that good at putting on makeup. I'm not used to wearing too much makeup.
No, I like it. I like it very much, and this was something that I owed to myself for a long time. So I'm doing it now.
Well, I think you look beautiful. I wish I knew how to put on, you know,
It's just a matter of practice. The first times are not gonna be nice.
Yeah,
You turn out like some weird thing, but then you start knowing yourself and knowing your lines and getting some tricks from here and there. But the best thing is to take a course
yeah,
because instructors tell you exactly some tricks and some cues that you can use on drawing some lines, and that you don't find online in videos, YouTube tutorials.
yeah. I always feel like I look so tired, and that's something I've been trying to cover up because I always feel like my eyes look like they're so, like bags under my eyes and stuff. That's what I've
No,
been
but that's
trying to.
just a matter of knowing how to cover it.
Yeah. So, have you been taking singing lessons all along, or did it just sort of come naturally?
Well, I have been taking lessons since, oh, 10, no, more. Since well, I started taking lessons like 14 years ago. During
So,
this pandemic thing, I haven't been taking lessons, but I have been training.
so were you ever like in your school chorus or your school band or anything like that, or did you start kind of like after it, like outside of it?
No, no, no. I went to the conservatory, and then here I went to the University of Arts.
Oh, okay. Well, you must
Mm.
know a lot about music and singing then.
I do, yeah, and I keep on studying. I was
Do you
just doing some master's degree actually.
do you know how to play many instruments too, or do you just mostly focus on singing?
No, I do. I know how to play the piano, the guitar, the mandolin, the violin. I used to play the violin, but I don't anymore. I actually sold my violin. And I guess some Venezuelan instruments as well, because I started playing instruments when I was a child.
Well, I only know how to play the flute, so I guess you know how to do so much more. But I played the flute for 10 years in school band.
Yeah.
But that was kind of boring because we had to play what they told us to play and everything.
Uh,
Um, I think I've run out of what I want to ask you. I can't think of anything else
okay.
right now. See, I'm trying to do this without a script, so it's kind of like more natural.
Okay.
But
Yeah, but your questions were nice.
I guess the last thing I want to ask you, if I can ask you one more thing, is what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when you're all done playing music and you've written everything you want to write and everything? What kind of message do you want to leave for everyone?
Well, the arts can save you. It gives you a nice break from all the hardship that the world gives you every day. And to other artists, I would like to say that your own voice is what matters, because right now we're living in a world where everyone tries to imitate everyone, and everything is weighted in coins, and numbers are used to measure things that are a matter of feelings. So, but the feelings are feelings, and art is about human feelings. So, what I do is art, and what I try to prove, not only to myself but to everyone, is that art is about that, and it's not dead. and it will live. It doesn't matter if we don't have a huge audience, but we we can do that, and we do it because we love it, and some people do appreciate it.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds like a wonderful legacy to leave. And I agree that everything's just kind of man-made and everybody wants to sound like each other, and it's awful. There needs to be more unique bands and unique sounds, and
Exactly.
everything needs to be appreciated for being different and beautiful and not just everybody liking the same mainstream thing all the time.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate talking to you, and I'd like to interview you again when you have some new music out or whenever you want to talk. Or
Oh, thank you very much. It was nice.
it was nice talking to you too. I look forward to talking to you again.
Well, thank you. We'll be in touch.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Good night.
Good night.